Good morning, everybody. Now, this week, Justin Trudeau, Canada's terrible Prime Minister, was continuing his world tour of hypocrisy, and he visited the European Parliament in Brussels, and he got roasted by not one, but two MEPs, who I think we should honour for a long time to come. The first was Christine Anderson, a German MEP who sits for the AfD, the Alternative für Deutschland party, which is a very good party in Germany, by the way. She totally roasted him and, of course, pointed out that he admires Chinese the Chinese system. It's not democracy. I was going to say democracy. It's not a democracy. Chinese totalitarianism, and has pretty much put those things in place with his emergency legislation. And then that was followed up by Mislav, I've got to look his name, Kolakusic, great name, Croatian MEP, who spoke for a little bit longer. I think he had a bit more time, but pointed out as well how he's such a hypocrite. He says he's for democracy and liberal values, whatever they are, but he sent in horses to beat up and push to the floor women, and then put in this emergency legislation to freeze the bank accounts of people just for supporting some protesters. And in what everyone says is a liberal democracy, that's the phrase people use, we should have the right to protest, the right to assemble, the freedom to speak out. We got free speech, freedom of thought, freedom of belief. But all that went out of the window with Trudeau after he tried to put in place these repugnant no jab, no job regulations for truckers and other groups of people. Of course, then there were protests because this is absolutely wrong. We don't want this in the West. We don't want this anywhere in the world. And then he cracked down on them like a totalitarian tyrant. And not just on the people who were there, who were legitimately protesting outside Parliament, which is a good place to protest. That's where you would expect people to protest if you're doing something that's wrong, as he did, but then tried to go after ordinary people who just given $100, $50, $20 to the crowdfunder for the Canadian truckers, including single mothers who then didn't have any money. They couldn't get their money, so they couldn't eat, can't pay for their kids' education, can't pay their mortgages, and cause all kinds of suffering and hardship to ordinary working Canadian men and women just for not agreeing with Prime Minister Trudeau and his repugnant, tyrannical measures. So he got what he deserved coming to the European Union Parliament. I'm no fan of the European Union, of course, but at least you got a couple of good MEPs there who were still speaking up for the truth and speaking up for what's right and giving Trudeau a good roasting. So he wanted it to be like a PR triumph. It turned into a PR disaster for him, but he's still there, you know, and that's the terrible thing. We've got these terrible, terrible leaders all over the West. Trudeau, Johnson, Macron, Schultz, Biden, Ardern. They're just, you know, words fail me as to how deplorable they are. And what have we done to get such low-grade people in positions of leadership in the West who are leading the whole of our Western civilization down the drains? We need to get rid of these people as soon as we can, democratically, of course, which is why I've set up the Heritage Party here in the UK to challenge them at the ballot box, and we will be doing so in many places in the local elections this May. And when the next general election comes up, which is likely to be May 2024, we will hopefully have enough people to stand everywhere, so at least people have a choice to vote for a party that is going to restore our heritage rather than destroy our heritage and our history and our freedom. So please do come and join me in the Heritage Party. Links there in the information box. I'll also put the links to the great speeches by Christine Anderson and Mislav Kolakusic in the information section below as well. And please do subscribe to my channel as well, because that helps me and helps me get the message out to more people, so we can continue to grow this movement and really make a challenge in the political sphere to get things back to how they should be. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a great day. God bless you all.